When we look at number 4, I think you'll see that it's big G. I'm sorry. We're crossing little g with big B, little b. In other words, homozygous recessive for hair color with a heterozygote for eye color. And it's crossed with a homozygous dominant for hair color and a heterozygote for eye color. And if we do FOIL for this, we see we get, and you do this, and it's little g, big B. You do the other one, it's little g, little b. So that's 2 possible gametes. Then little g, big B, and little g, little b. You'll notice that there's a repeat. There's 2 repeats here, but if you feel like you need to do the whole 16, that's fine. That'd be one side of the Punnett square. And on the other side of the Punnett square, you have big G, big B. You have big G, little b. You'll have big G, big B, and big G, little b. Again, double repeats. So I could rewrite it and just go little g, little b, cross, little g, big B is crossed with big G, big B, little g, or big G, little b. Right? I could have done that, and then I would have gotten this. And then this. All right. What would be those? These are all the possible different genotypes, and then the phenotypes would be gray and black. So it's 25% gray and black. Is it though? No, it's not for phenotypes. It's 50% gray and black. Is that correct? Do you see that? That's not true either, is it? Are you paying attention? Kind of going off. I don't hear any comments. So this is gray and black here, correct? This is gray and black, correct? And this is gray and black. So then we have 75% gray and black. And we got 25% gray and red. Does everybody agree with that? All right. So that's what we have. Okay. And you could do, if you did this big one, you would have gotten the same percentages. If you did the big one, didn't get these percentages, then let me know. All right. So the next one says you have these genotypes. Big B, big B, big B, little b, little b, little b, N, a big N, big N, homozygous dominant for resistance, heterozygotes, homozygous recessive, the homozygous dominant for barbs or no barbs is barbed. So these are both barbed. This is smooth. This is not resistant. This is non-resistant. So that means if you put a pesticide on these guys, they're gonna die. Anything with these genes. Anything that has this gene, that pesticide may not kill them. You're turned around sideways and laughing and talking instead of facing the board and taking notes. So we gotta ask ourselves, what are we doing? So face the board Take note. No, you're not facing the board. You're literally turned sideways still. Face the board and write and take notes. Okay, you did it, but check your work. So little n means resistant to pesticide. So if you get the recessive genes, you're resistant to pest. So these are your phenotypes. Somebody asked a good question. They asked, well, we'll read the next question, and I think you'll see why they got confused. A cyclops that is resistant to pesticides has a smooth antenna. All right, so it's resistant to pesticide. Did they tell you if it's heterozygous or homozygous? No. Now, they didn't. Did they? But they kind of did, didn't they?
They didn't tell you directly.
They didn't tell you directly. It's correct. So you will often get problems like this. Just like the morning quiz I gave you last week. I think it was Monday or last week. I can't remember. So in any case, the cyclops is resistant to pesticide and has smooth antenna. So resistant to pesticide is what? Little n. So we know it's little n. And its smooth antenna is what? Double lowercase b. How do I know that? I have my key. Break down the paragraph. And then say it's crossed with. That means there's another being. Heterozygous for both traits. Now, this is what confused one person. They're like, both traits? What do you mean, barbed and smooth? How does that work? No, they mean the traits texture, antenna texture, and resistance. Either you're non-resistant or resistant, or you're barbed or smooth. Correct? So 2 traits. So they're heterozygous for both. So that's big N, little n, and big B, little b. And I understand that could be a little confusing because you would think a trait is either smooth or rough, but it's not. The trait is whether it's smooth or rough. All right, then you go ahead and do the Punnett square for this. Of course, I'm going to do the shortcut because it's easier for me and I don't have a lot of time, but you can do the long way if you'd want. This particular individual here can make only an n little b. That's the only there'll be 4 of them, but they're all going to be little n, little b. This individual can make big N, big B, big N, little b, little n, big B, and little n, little b. So it can make up to 4 different gametes. And if you do the cross and you put big N, big B, big N, little n, big B, and little n, little b, and you cross with little n, little b. Notice what I did. Does this not seem easier than 16 squares? I think it's easier. There's only 4 different gametes, 4 different zygotes you can get. You can get this, you can get this, you can get this, or you can get this. So this is going to be non-resistant and barbed. Do you agree? Mm-hmm. This one's going to be non-resistant and smooth. This is going to be resistant and barbed. And this is going to be resistant and smooth. So what are going to be the ratios? 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. If you did the full 16, it'd be 4 to 4 to 4 to 4, which is fine. But reduce that and it'd be 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. Are we all good with this? That takes us through 8, correct? For homework, I'd like you to do the rest of these. All right? Upload it all by tomorrow morning. Ignore the due date for today. It's in Schoology. Just upload it all by tomorrow. Obviously, I expect you to get things wrong on the rest of this. Okay, it's about trying to work out the problems. Yeah.